Netflix has ended its agreement with Epix, leaving many popular movies, including The Hunger Games and World War Z, which I would not describe as a popular movie, leaving the service and going to Hulu, which does have an agreement with Epix in its place. Well, while this is happening, Netflix is developing its own original content. And it seems that this is the move that they're going toward. This is what they gave as the reason why they're letting go of the Epix agreement, which begs the question, is Netflix just becoming another TV channel?
I don't know. It's weird. I have two minds about this because Netflix was obviously born on get whatever content you want whenever you want, right? And they didn't really do original programming until later down the road once they kind of hit a major popularity spur.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I like the original programming.
Oh, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just, it seems like the attraction was look at all of these streaming movies you could have.
Right.
Look, you can come here for this. But then you remove that and convert the subscriber dollars into creating original programming, which, by the way, you don't need to renew licensing agreements on.
No.
So it doesn't seem like malicious, but it does seem a little bit like it's going in, like, was this the original plan to always go this way?
Businesses change their, corporate structure all the time, and I have to say, I'm personally like, I'm fine with it because there's so much streaming services that are out nowadays between Amazon, Hulu, even Google's doing streaming now, and it's like, there's so much available stuff out there. I'm pretty sure Epix was able to push back on Netflix a little bit, being like, hey, you're not the only guys in the market now. We can, we've got big movies. If you want to get anyone who wants to kind of cover our stuff, you're going to have to give us a little more money. When Netflix is probably looking at those numbers and being like, look, for the numbers that we're paying you, we can just go and use our metrics to make our own original programming.
And it's largely working.
But that's the only thing, now that I'm saying these words out loud, that's the only problem that it might be, because Netflix based their metrics a lot on content that was already out there. Like when House of Cards came out, they basically looked at people like...
when they use the algorithm, people like Kevin Spacey in this kind of role.
And they like political dramas.
Sure.
Then, okay, let's just write you a check, go make it, But now they're not going to necessarily have that wide database to be able to pull that type of information from, if it's all just original programming.
I mean, they still have their own data on that and can create new things even based on that. Super meta. In the same vein, though, Apple seems to be getting on board with the original programming creation. They were recently in the running to acquire Top Gear. Of course, Amazon came out on top, but this seems like Apple is getting into this game of original programming. It is not clear whether they're going toward television or movies, but it is clear that they're trying to do something. And there is no solid date announced yet, but it does make sense because they need to compete with other tech giants like Amazon, like Hulu, like Netflix is becoming its own entity when it far from when it started, as you said, as business shifts over time. So they will be getting on board with this, and you know what? They have a lot of money. They could make a huge, huge variety, or maybe just one big flagship.
When you cut out the middleman, because previously it was, content creators, producers, and then distribution, then audience, and now when you're combining the studio and the distribution into one company, things get cheaper, which means you can do more, or have a higher quality.
Oh, good, because Apple was really on a tight budget for this,
Well, I guess it's just at this point, I don't know. I actually don't even realize. I guess Netflix just had to prove that you could do this.
Yeah.
Because they could have done this decades ago.
They invented something pretty much like a new model.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say invented. They perfected a new model.
Right.
And it's working out pretty well for them. Apple also lured over MTV programming chief Suzanne Daniels. So maybe that's a hint to where they're going. Audience, where do you think Apple is heading with their original programming?
Reality
Television, movies, reality shows, approved Steve Jobs biopics? And then we also have Netflix Move as well. What do you think they're up to? Let us know below in the comments, and please subscribe for more.